So this video is a revisit to my first video of the AWT Mig 100 handheld flux core welder. I really felt compelled to do this update video because I've been playing with this thing for a couple months now, and man, it is so nice to have around. It's just so easy to use. Give you some tips and tricks, some stuff that I didn't realize when I first got it. I was just all about kind of busting it out and using it. On the front of this thing, down on your controls, this voltage is a plus minus. It's not and I can't find the manual for the life of me. I don't know if I accidentally threw it away. So it has your options of 30 and 35 wire. The voltage is plus or minus 10%. That's what I read in the manual. So if you're down 10%. If you're in the middle, you're flat. And you're at the top, you're plus 10%. So this adjusts for your burn. You can put a little bit more voltage to it, a little bit more heat to it. I believe it was from 16 to 19, if I remember correctly. I'll have to check my other video. But yeah, that's a plus minus 10%. So that doesn't adjust from 16 to 19. That's not what that is. I misspoke in the first one. And you'll see in this video, as I do my testing, I kind of went more in depth on this one. What does it pull from the wall? How many amps? As well as, what it's really putting out. And it's shocking. It's putting out pretty good amperage. At maxed out amperage, it's putting out high 90s to low 100s, 105, 110. That's pretty decent. A lot of this stuff that's sold, it's not good. It's, they lie about what it'll do, about the numbers, about the amperage, all that kind of stuff. This actually holds true to form, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I love the arc of this machine. And that's hard to explain. It's got such a nice, crispy, solid, stable arc when it welds, which I didn't expect. I mean, this is a cheaper machine. I think I just looked today and you pick it up for $139 or something like that on Amazon for an all-in-one handheld flux core welder. I've actually changed this over on the inside to 35. It comes at 30, but I changed the wheel over and I've been running 35. And to be honest, I like it at 35 too. I like it at 30, I like it at 35. The 30 is a touch more precise, but honestly, it does really well. It does what it's supposed to. I'll give you some tips and tricks. One, these things come with a shield on the outside of this, like a MIG welder does, like a gas shield on the outside. Take that off immediately. It's not necessary. And to be honest, it hurts how well this thing runs. It runs much better without that shield. And I'll tell you why. The shield sticks out a good bit off the end of this tip. It's out like here somewhere. So you've already lost, I don't know, a quarter inch just getting out of the gas shield that you see on a MIG welder. And then when you stick it out further and you're trying to run it, you end up running this real long stuck out wire that's not good. It's not going to give you a good weld. It's too far out. Flux core welding does it does require some stick out a little bit to kind of heat the wire as it goes into it. I generally run, I don't know, probably a ½ inch, maybe a little less. I'm sure there's reference about how much you're supposed to or not, but that's a general rule for me. My finger's about an inch. I run about, I don't know, about a ½ inch, maybe a touch less. But yeah, get rid of this gas shield that's on the outside. This is what I'm talking about. This sits on here like this. Get rid of this thing. Man, can you use it so much better with it, with this shield off. And you can see when I put this on and I sit it down flush to what it butts up against. When you sit it down, see how it covers out the end of that tip? If it sat down a little bit lower like this maybe, and it had some stick out, I don't know, you could probably leave it. Because it does. It protects all this stuff from the flux core, all the garbage that kicks off, the fumes and the beads and the junk that flux core, typically kicks off. But it's too, you see how it covers the end there? That's not what you want. Because then, you're messing up what you can see here and trying to figure out what your distance is. So the first thing is to get rid of this. Absolutely. Get rid of that. Not necessary. Run it without. That's a very first thing you should do. And otherwise, play it by ear when you use it. I'm actually kind of shocked. I've welded a lot of stuff over the past couple months with this welder. I've been kind of shocked at how well it does. It's a really good welder for lighter stuff. If you're not running real heavy stuff, you're running stuff less than, for sure less than a 1/4 inch. It's the thinner stuff, thinner, whatever, sheet metal, exhaust, just thinner plate steel, tube steel, whatever. This is perfect for those kinds of things. It allows you to go down, as I'm showing in the video. It'll take you down to about high 30s, low 40s amperage, which is pretty good. And then at the top end, you're talking a little over probably 100 pretty consistently. So you've got about a 60 amp output range on this. And I'll also show in the video what this thing is actually pulling out of the socket. I'm really excited to show you guys that and show you what it's actually pulling out of the wall, so you can see and say, oh, man, this is good for running in a house on a normal 20 amp house circuit, maybe less. I haven't even reviewed the footage for that, so we'll see it together when I go through it. But yeah, I really like this little welder. It does really well. Get rid of that gas shield nozzle. Run it without it. It works great. When you play with it and you get a little more comfortable with it, it's a really fun little welder. You end up kind of running two-handed, because if you're running one-handed and holding this up in the air, it's got a little weight to it. No lie. It's got a little heft to it. So I always end up running my right hand on this to kind of hold it and trigger it, and then I end up kind of aiming with this one or bracing or whatever, like a lot of times you do when you're doing like stick welding. Kind of the same thing. You end up holding back, and then your front hand, kind of aims you a little bit. That's what I normally end up doing. But to be honest, I haven't had any issues with this thing. I've used it a bunch. I've kind of expected it to die at some point because I've messed around. I think you saw in one of my videos, I ran the thing wide open for, what was it? It was like 6 minutes or something like that. I fully expected it to die and just melt down. It's done great. It did great in that video. It's done great since. Yeah, it's just held up really nicely. I've done a couple other videos about it. Please look at those. But this is like, I'm going to try to do a series of when I get stuff and I review it. That first review where you play with it and you're interested and you're trying to figure stuff out. And then I'd like to do a series, and I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. I'll probably have the name by the time I make this video, but a series that's like a revisiting of, the equipment and the video, and give updates and what I learned about it and what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, what I learned how to use it better, kind of like taking that tip off. That's the first thing to do on this. I've run it on 30, I've run it on 35. It's done great on both sides. I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about this. This looks exactly like I think it's a Zuno and hizone. It just looks like rebranded, renamed, same as this. It looks like the same thing. Physically, it's probably the same thing. 3 different kinds from the same factory, and they just color them different, put different name tags on them. That's kind of how they do. But honestly, I've been very happy with this machine. It's pretty much all I've used for the last 2 months for whatever I've needed to weld or play around with. It's held up very well. It's been a very resilient little machine. You saw when I did if you look at the exhaust welding video that I did at this, I actually had to back it off quite a bit because it was so toasty. It was burning through the exhaust, and it wasn't like really thin walled exhaust. It had a little meat to it, but yeah, it's a fun little machine. I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up. It's held up very well. It's very easy to drag around. It's all in one. You've got the clamp and the plug that are both wired into the back, and it's all in one piece. So you just throw it wherever and take it wherever. Plugs into normal house voltage. And like I said, we're gonna in this video, I'm gonna show you what it's pulling on the different settings. We're gonna deep dive it. I'm gonna show you everything I can. I've been very, very impressed with the machine. For $100 and whatever it was, $40, $130. Fun little machine, capable little machine. I still have yet to hit a max limiter as far as burning it till it pops, and then have it shut off for a cooling limit. I still haven't hit it. It's been a very, very good little machine. I have nothing bad to say about this. I saw some reviews on Amazon where people said, they had a lot of problems. Maybe they just got bad machines. That's kind of the chance you take when you buy these kind of Chinese. They probably dump them out by the millions. They just produce tens of thousands of them, and they're not going to test them all. So you're going to get bad ones. What you want to do is when you get it home, get it and start playing with it immediately. And if you find there's a problem, send it back in, because they're probably just going to send you another one. They don't care. They're just going to say, okay, that one was bad, here's the other one. They're going to send you another one. They may not even ask you to send the other one in, because it's all about just mass production. That's how it works. They don't even care. I'm sure if you try to find replacement parts, like it's easy to find stuff like tips. This is common stuff that you get anywhere. This is a pretty common thing for MIG guns and stuff. But if you had to find replacement parts for some of this, maybe the guts down in here, this, I had swapped out the wheel which comes with it, but if you had to find any of the finer points, it'd probably be impossible. You'd probably never find it. But if it's working well and you're taking care of it and you're not beating it up, I'm sure it'll do fine. This one has done very well for me so far. So let's look at some of the numbers and some of the outputs and some of the draws from the house, and then we'll end up the video. I've been very happy with this, very impressed with this. It swings above weight for sure. Fun little machine, capable little machine. Lowest amperage setting, highest voltage. Lowest amperage settings output. About low 40s, pretty consistently. Lowest amperage setting again. Pretty consistently between low 40s and high 30s on the lowest setting. Highest amperage setting, highest voltage on 35 flux. Highest amperage setting, highest voltage. Pretty consistently in the high 90s, low 100s. Max voltage, max amperage. Pretty consistently in the 90s, low 100s. Set to 30 wire, flux core wire, minimum amperage, maximum voltage. .30 wire, maximum amperage. This time, instead of minimum, maximum voltage. Still set on 30. .30 flux core setting, minimum amperage. High 30s, low 40s. .30 flux core wire, maximum amperage. High 90s, low 100s.